It's Friday Night Live with Vince, pregame, postgame show. Your destination for top high school football previews and wrap-ups with Vince and his team. Buckle up and hang on for Friday Night Live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Friday Night Live pregame show presented by the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Vince DeLisio, and we are joined by a couple of talented co-hosts tonight. First, let's lead it off with our very own Ava Lambatis. Ava, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Awesome. Going to be a great show tonight. Going to have a lot of fun with it. And next, Anissa Reynolds. Anissa, how's it going?
Pretty good. How's it going for you?
Good. You guys ready to preview some great games tonight? Any favorites on the docket for either of you, Ava?
I definitely have one I'm looking out for the most is Arcadia and Marcos Deniza. Seems like a really great game because Arcadia beat the only team that Marcos Deniza lost to. So I think it'll be really interesting.
Awesome. Arcadia, number 1 in 4A right now, number 1 seed, should make for a great quarterfinal matchup. Marcos Deniza have been quiet off and on the last couple of years. This year making a splash and wanting to play spoiler at Arcadia. And Anissa, how about you? Any favorites tonight?
I'm looking forward to ALA Queen Creek versus Perry because ALA, lost last week in the Open Division, and now they're going to be in the 6A Division. So definitely a nice matchup.
There are going to be a few of those games tonight also of some first-round Open falters playing tonight in 6A, and it should make for an interesting game all the way around. So, but first, we are going to leave the state of Arizona temporarily. We're going to go to our old friend J.R. Lambright in East Texas. He's going to give us a little preview of what's going on. J.R., what do you got for us?
Hey, good evening, Vince. So I'm looking at the area round championships. Now, these teams have already made it through the entire season. They've made it through the bi-district round. We've established that they can score points. What this is going to come down to is defense. And the two games that I'm primarily looking at is Kilgore versus Stafford and Woodville versus Edgewood. Now, in Kilgore, they're going to have to shut down. The game is favored toward Kilgore, and I'm going to tell you why. Isaiah Waters, last week, his linebacker, he had 9 tackles for loss and 4 sacks. And Bison Williams is a defensive back over there, and he's got 16 quarterback hurries. And last week, he's the one who, on the punt, they was trying to punt the ball. The other team, who was it? It happened. Anyway, he blocked the punt and got a safety. Bison Williams did that. And then Cameron Christian is also over there, a defensive back, and he's got 13 QB hurries last week as well. Now,
is this a pretty storied rivalry here, JR?
I don't know as it's much of a rivalry. We're kind of past the points of rivalries where people see each other all the time. We're in the area round. So this is, you might see somebody like in the next round that is a rival to you, but that's only if they somehow weave their way through the brackets and y'all meet up. I've seen it quite a few times in the past like that.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to hearing more and how this game ends up in the post-game show later tonight. So take some copious notes and looking forward to hearing back from you, JR.
Indeed, Vince. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. All right. That being said, guys, we are going to get right back into Arizona high school football. And a big thank you to J.R. Lambright out in Jasper, Texas, a member of our team. And we're going to bring Anissa back on with us, who's going to welcome one of the most talented members of our team, Dane Palmer. Dane, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good, man. Ready for some Friday Night Lights tomorrow night. Interested to see what's going to go down tonight.
Yeah, Dane. I mean, going to the Centennial game, and they lost last week in the Open Division, and now they're going to be in 6A. How do you think that's going to affect their mindset in this game?
Yeah, I think they're just going to have that bounce back mentality. We've seen them bounce back from the very few amount of losses that they have this year, and just lean on that offense, get the scoring going. They're very capable on offense. So yeah, get the ball going early and try to bounce back.
And do you think there are any key matchups or any key players that we should look out for in this matchup tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Titus Hill on offense, the sophomore quarterback for Centennial. The kid's got 2,100 yards, 20 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. I mean, he can absolutely sling the ball. He's a leader on offense for sure. He spreads the ball out nicely. Him for sure. And then on the other side of things, offensively, for for the other side, it's going to be, for Mesa over there, it's going to be Rio Arnett. He's got 1,300 yards. He's a leader on offense. He's just a junior as well. So a couple of really young offensive-minded teams. I think the defenses are going to have to step up in this one. Mesa went out and they put up 33 points on Basha earlier this year, who's got a pretty electric defense that shut down Mountain View earlier this year, who Centennial, of course, went down to earlier in the playoffs. So I think defensively we're going to see which side steps up the most.
Yeah, and what do you think? Do you think that's also their advantage they have over each other, or do they each have a separate advantage?
I think it's just going to be a straight up shootout. I think these offenses are just they have so much talent and they're really hard to contain. And the defenses have struggled this year. So I think offensively, tune in Friday night. Everybody go watch. It should be an absolute barn burner over there with Centennial taking on Mesa.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Dane, and have a good night.
Thank you, Anissa. We'll see you later.
Yep.
Awesome. That's going to be a great one. Thanks again, Dane. And Centennial and Mesa out at Mountain Ridge High School. Let's send it on out now. We are going to Castile, and we're going to bring Ava back on, who is going to welcome our very own Andrew Hughes. Take it away, Ava.
Hi, Andrew. How are you doing tonight?
How you doing, Ava? Thanks for having me tonight.
Yeah, of course. So coming off of 2 losses, Castile, what do they need to do to pull off the win against Higley?
I feel like Castile just has to complete a complete game of football. I think they've had games and stretches where it looks like they're coming together as a team. They had 5-game win streak on the road, so they were a bit of road warriors this year versus at home. They kind of suffered most of their losses. So now there's a chance to kind of put it all together as a team when they really need it most.
Mm-hmm. And who on the teams do you expect to really stand out?
So when I look at Castile, their defense, their front seven, they have a defensive end / linebacker, and Chase Wyatt has multiple sacks. And then they also have Dax White, who has Dax White is a defensive star for Higley on the other side. He's kind of their enforcer on the defensive side too. So I'm looking to see which defense kind of makes their mark. Both offenses have weapons at quarterback and wide receiver and running back. So I'm interested to see which defensive star on each side shows out and who makes the most plays on that side of the ball to win the game.
Mm-hmm. And what are your predictions for this game?
I think I like the fact that Castile in the open division gave Brophy College Prep a run for their money. It was a 9-point loss on the road, but Castile showed a lot of fight, put up a lot of points. But Higley's a team that historically in 5A has had a lot of success. They're coached really well. I think it'll come down to which team plays the better defense. But at the end of the day, I think Higley proves why 6A, now that they're in 6A, they prove why they belong there tonight.
Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a little weather. It's supposed to rain maybe a little bit. How do you think that's going to affect these teams?
Well, I think it'll affect these teams one way in the passing game, but I think the good thing about it is both teams have reliable running games. So I feel like even though they might not be able to throw the ball as effectively, they also have 2 quarterbacks that can run the ball as well. So I don't think it'll slow down each team too much as they're equipped to run the ball in case of bad weather.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for joining us here tonight.
Thank you so much, Ava.
Awesome. And thanks so much, Andrew. And with that, we are going to now take it out to ALA Queen Creek, hosting Perry. And let's bring Anissa back on as we welcome Devin Blankenship.
Hey, Devin, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Going into this game, ALA is hosting how do you think that is an advantage for them going into this quarterfinal?
Yeah, ALA Queen Creek, they had a winning record at home. They were, I believe, 2-3 on the road, so it's definitely an advantage for them to be playing at home. They struggled on the road this year.
And even after the final result of this game, how do you think this will encapsulate both these teams' season overall?
I mean, for both teams, obviously a win is huge in the playoffs, but for Queen Creek, they started the year, ALA Queen Creek, they started the year 0-5, and then they went and won 5 straight games to land themselves in the open division first round, which they eventually lost. But if they can come out with a win tonight after a brutal 0-5 start, that would be huge for them. And as far as for Perry, they've had a very up and down year. It seemed like it was win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. They finished 5-5, won their first round game in the 6A playoffs. So for them, a win is just capturing more momentum to get into the semifinals.
And what are some advantages these teams may have over each other?
These teams are very, they're super even on paper. They both have 2 quarterbacks who threw for well over 2,000 yards. For Perry, they're a very balanced team on offense. They have 2 receivers with 600-plus receiving yards. Same goes for ALA Queen Creek, though. They both have a lot of star power on their team.
Well, thank you, Devin, for joining us tonight, and good luck at the game.
Thank you so much.
Right. I think up next we have Patrick Cohen up to talk about Desert View and Canyon View.
Hey, Ava, how's it going tonight?
Hey, Patrick, how are you doing?
Great. I am so excited for this game, Desert View versus Canyon View. It's certainly going to be very interesting, considering the fact that both these teams are named the Jaguars. So it's going to be kind of confusing to see, like, okay, is Desert View scoring or is Canyon View scoring? The good news is they have different colored uniforms, so Desert View is more of a darkish red. Canyon View is blue, white, and black. So that should not be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. So I can tell you're really excited about this game. Give me some predictions for it. What are you most excited about to see out of these guys?
Well, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen specifically in this game, considering the fact that last week we covered Desert View against Mountain Point, and it seemed for a while in the late second quarter, early third quarter, it seemed like Desert View's perfect season was going to come to an end. But surprisingly enough, Desert View came back and they managed to mount a huge comeback against Mountain Point, and they were able to continue the perfect season. They're 11-0 now under the direction of Robert Benias, who, by the way, used to play at the University of Arizona back in from the mid to late 90s. Vince was kind enough to share that detail with me, which I truly appreciate. And so this is going to be a very interesting game. Mountain Point was sort of a test. This is going to be even more of a test because Canyon View finished at the top of their division, 9-2, and so it's going to be a very, very difficult game. Even though Desert View is undefeated, they were tested last week against Mountain Point, and this is going to be more of a test against Canyon View. Now, one thing that Desert View has to its advantage is that it has a stellar offense and defense. I mean, Ryan Basso, the quarterback they have, is an absolute legend. I would not be surprised if he goes on to, have a college career or NFL career. And this is, again, Desert View is scary. This is an NFL caliber team, like I said last week on Friday Night Live. This Desert View is a NFL caliber team. They have an airtight defense, airtight offense. It sort of withered a bit last week against Mountain Point, but it's certainly going to be very interesting to see what happens between these two teams because both are very solid. Canyon View is very solid. I've seen highlight videos. They have a very brilliant offense and defense as well. So it's really going to be, I will not be surprised if this game goes back and forth.
Yeah, I'm glad you're very excited for it, and good luck out there and have fun watching that game.
All right. Thank you very much, Ava.
Thanks for coming on. All right, so we're about to take a quick little break for you guys, but don't go anywhere. You'll be able to watch the rest of our interviews we got for these pre-games tonight.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Dickmans here with the Varsity Sports Show. And this Friday, I will be at Yuma High School where the Gila Ridge Hawks will take on the Coconino Panthers in the 4A quarterfinals of football.
Something really interesting. Yuma's football head coach is one of the few female head coaches in high school football in the country, and the only one currently in Arizona. Jessica Slaughter has been working as a head coach for 5 years. She is from Yuma and went to Gila Ridge High School herself. She played guard and tackle during her freshman and sophomore years and was on the staff a couple years prior to becoming a head coach for the varsity team of Gila Ridge Hawks. However, she'd rather be recognized as the coach of a successful team of the Hawks than be the first female coach in Arizona. She wants to build the program and help the kids play. The Gila Ridge Hawks already have an impressive season with 10 wins and just 1 loss. They have won all of their home games this season. Their opponent, the Coconino Panthers, have also been on a steady roll, winning their last 4 games. Either way, this matchup is going to be very exciting.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's get back to the game. This is Jasmine Dickmans with Varsity Sports Show.
Hi, and welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. This is Friday Night Live with Vince. I'm Anissa Reynolds, and here I'm going to be talking to Kira Aronoff, who's down in Tucson, about the Horizon and Morena game. Kira, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. It's nice to see you again, Anissa. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Knowing that this squad, Horizon, is traveling down to Tucson, what do you think are the struggles for them getting off the bus and having to play this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to disrupt Morena's rhythm like in the beginning, I think they have a good chance. I mean, Horizon's 9-2 and Morena's 10-1. So I think it's going to be definitely a big game. It's going to be exciting. I think each team's got some real threats, some multiplayer players that can kind of do everything for the team. We've got Brody Zamorano, who I think averages 117 rushing yards per game, and their running back on Miranda's team, Jeffrey Smith, averages 94 rushing yards per game. So kind of a close there between the two of them. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see those two characters run the ball and see kind of who can come out on top. Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you think both these teams should focus on going into the matchup?
I mean, I think if they're able to use these two players, kind of use them to run the ball, rush the ball, and keep that ball like in motion, I think that would be really important. And also just defensively, there's a lot of players on both teams that have interceptions and tackles. And I think if they're able to disrupt the other team's rhythm, like I had mentioned, I think that's going to be key to the game. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me tonight, Kira, and good luck at the game.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, next up we got Keith and Thomas here to talk about the Liberty Red Mountain game.
There we go.
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Okay, so we had a little bit of a field switch up here due to weather. They're actually going to be playing at Deer Valley. So what do you think is going to be the mentality? Thinking they were going to have a home game, but now it's switched up to both of them being away.
I think that's going to end up being an advantage for Red Mountain, and I'm telling you right now, they're going to need every advantage they can because this Liberty team, this defense specifically, is one of the best I've ever seen. Just going off of what they've had, we have just on defense, 5 of their starters are already committed to D1 programs. Zeph Thews, he's committed to ASU. He's a star safety. He's got a plethora of highlights throughout the year. Hudson Dunn, he's committed to Minnesota. A linebacker from Minnesota, deals are typically terrifying. Pez St. John, he's committed to Boise State. Tyler Bernstein committed to Wazoo, Washington State. And then TJ, let's see if I get this right, Folie Tutu committed to Hawaii. He plays a little bit of both. All of those players have contributed to what has been one of the best defenses in the state, bar none. Better than Basha. They've been incredible.
All right, and what are your game predictions for this game? You seem pretty knowledgeable on both the teams. What are we expecting to see out of this?
Honestly, it's gonna. If I had to make a prediction, I don't like to put that out in the air sometimes because I don't want to jinx any team. But Liberty has not lost to a team from Arizona since 2022. They lost to Saguaro in the playoffs. They lost by 1 point. So it has been almost 3 years since they lost to a team based out in Arizona. They're attempting to three-peat. I think this is going to be more of the same. I think it's going to be a Liberty win tomorrow night for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and have fun at that game. It'll be really exciting to watch.
Of course. Hopefully it doesn't rain us out like it has been all week, right?
Nice job, Keithan. Loving that that kind of that Matrix look you got going on there. You're in another dimension. I don't know.
Oh, it's all like I had the blur on, so my bad.
Man,
I
that
should have
is
turned that
awesome.
off.
Loving that. Anyway, Keithan Thomas, a Mountain View alum, who's going to be on the call tomorrow night for Liberty Red Mountain. Big open matchup. So thanks again, Keith. Doing a great job.
Of course. Have a good one.
All right. Okay. Well, that being said, let's move it right along to my driving partner tomorrow night, tonight. It'll be Jasmine Dickmans, who will be heading down to Yuma for a big game.
Jasmine, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I mean, I know you're going down to Yuma tomorrow, so what do you think?
Yes.
Squads, have an advantage over each other?
I find it very hard to say, especially because both teams have been performing so well. We've seen the Coconino Panthers being able to convert wins even at away games. Gila Ridge hasn't lost except for one game this season. I do think that Gila Ridge has a little bit of a, on paper, more talented roster with right receivers having more yards during the game. Quarterback having more touchdown passes. So, like, on paper, they're also ranked 6, where Coconino Panthers are ranked 14. So that is a little bit of the advantage they have. But as we all know, like, anything can happen in a quarterfinal game. It's an all or nothing game. So it's really hard to make any predictions.
So coming off, both these teams had great wins last week. How do you think they can maintain their momentum in this playoff run?
I think it's very important for both teams to keep in mind that every week is a new week, especially with playoffs. Like, it's all or nothing. It's this game or you're done. So having a win last week, great. Keeping the momentum, great. But you also need to be able to move on and have your mindset set for the next game because it's happening within a week already. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Jasmine, for joining us tonight, and good luck at the game.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right, up next, I think we're going to get Jacob Nolden here to talk about Arcadia and Marcos Deniza. This is one I was saying earlier, I'm really excited about this game. 11-0 and 10-1 Marcos Deniza. So Arcadia beat the only team that Marcos Deniza has lost to this season. How is Marcos Deniza going to step up to try and secure a win?
Marcos Deniza is a really interesting team. Like you said, Arcadia beat the team that they lost to earlier in the season. But one thing I'm looking forward to is their high-powered offense. And all of their 9 wins during the regular season, they've scored 40-plus points, and that's led by their quarterback, Jaden Lott. So he had 3 touchdowns last week, but he did have 2 interceptions. So it's going to be big to see how they do from that. And they're also a team that was 2-8 last year, so kind of like a revive of the program. So.
Mm-hmm. And what are you expecting to see out of the game? Like, what are your predictions on both sides of the ball here?
I think, like I said, it should be a good game. I mean, one's 10-1, one's 11-0. I think Arcadia has just been dominant all season, and like I said, until we see otherwise, like we haven't seen all season, I think they'll probably continue that and probably pull out. I mean, they're coming off a win last week against St. Mary's as well, and they put 50 up on that. So, and their quarterback Zach Smith too is really good, as well as a running game. So, yeah.
Yeah, and what's it going to take for Marcos Deniza to try and come out on top here against Arcadia?
I think it's just going to come down to their offense. I mean, I mentioned earlier, they have that high-powered offense. They're just scoring 40 points like it's nothing really. And seems when they score 40 points, they win a game. So I guess they're going to have to score 40 points here again. But, yeah, like I said, just that offense needs to get going. And if it gets going, it should be a good game.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking with me.
Cool. Thank you so much.
And now we have Ethan Troll to come on talking about GCU and ASU women's hockey. Hey, Ethan, how are you today?
I'm good. A little under the weather, but I think with this game coming up, it's going to make me feel a lot better. I'm excited for this matchup.
Oh yeah, definitely. Both these teams sort of evenly matched. ASU 8-6, GCU 7-6. What advantages do they have over each other?
Well, they have the potential to be explosive on all ends, on defense and offense. But again, both of these teams have just been so up and down this season. You just mentioned the records of 8-6 and 7-6. ASU started off really hot. They were undefeated for a while, and now they've been on a losing stint since the beginning of November. As for GCU, they started off 5-1, and they ended up now losing 4 in a row and then going 2-1 in the last 3 games. So this matchup is going to be about who's going to be able to bounce back the hardest and who's going to be able to show like this is not the kind of team that we are. We're better than this.
You mentioned that both teams bouncing back. What do you think they both need to do to regain the momentum that they had earlier in the season?
2 keys. 1, start off fast, because neither of these teams don't really start off really fast at all within the first 2 periods. They mostly get their momentum going in the 3rd period. And the second thing, play better defense. The goalies are constantly pressured on both ends. And many people would hear that and go, oh, so this might be an explosive matchup. I don't think it's going to be that. It's going to be more of a chess match where both passing schemes are going to end up going back and forth with one another, trying to figure out the space to knock the puck through the goal and through the defense. So we'll see how it goes, but it's an in-state rivalry, GCU, ASU. I mean, you can't ask for a better matchup overall.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Ethan, and good luck at tomorrow's game.
Thank you, Anissa. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Awesome. Great job, Ethan, all season long, and covering hockey for us Friday night versus GCU women versus ASU should make for a great one. So anyway, with that, we are going to bring on a very astute, talented young man out of Sacramento, California, a member of our team who's been giving us previews and post-game wraps all season long, Rodolfo Gomez. Rodolfo, what do you got for us up in Sacramento?
Hey, Vince, how you doing? Well,
I'm doing.
I have actually. Oh, fantastic! Well, this bracket that I have that I'm gonna bring to you guys is absolutely stacked. I think the teams that advanced were pretty much expected. Is Grand, the 3rd seed against Oak Ridge, which Oak Ridge last game was very tight against Central Catholic, but they ended up coming on top just by 1 point. And you got Folsom, the powerhouse that it is, against Smart, which is a team from Modesto. It's not from here from the Sacramento area. So I think both of these matches are exciting, and we might expect the same matchup from last year, Folsom against Granite, but we'll see how this game's turn out to be.
Now, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Rodolfo, but I know you've been keeping up on all the Sacramento Valley, the Central Valley, some of the Bay Area, and why should people primarily watching and listening from Arizona, why they should care? Well, because the CIF is a big deal, and there's a lot of great players that get put out year in and year out that may end up in uniforms here in the state of Arizona. Any players that come to mind that are some big time prospects?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at all of the rosters that the teams that are remaining, obviously, I always talk about Folsom all the time, but that's the team that stands out the most. I mean, you got 6 recruits already, with actually 4 of them are not yet committed yet, but from this year, they're already committed. You got BYU, you got their wide receiver who's actually committed to Ole Miss. Is one of the best receivers here in California. That will be Jamison Powell. Very good wide receiver, and actually, we always talk about Rider Lions, and sometimes you see some commercials, Under Armour commercials with him. So, I mean, obviously that team is stacked, but if you look at other teams in the region, you have obviously Oak Ridge, which Oak Ridge has Javen Joseph, which is currently committed to Washington State, and that's one of the commits. And the other teams don't have actually commits already. They're still finding out where to go. But, I mean, this around this area in football, they're very good players, and players are already committed and ready to go to schools. The other ones that still haven't decided. So it's a very, very competitive field here.
Okay, Rodolfo Gomez. Rodolfo, thanks so much for your time, and we'll look forward to chatting with you again soon. And with that, folks, we will take another quick commercial break. Thanks again for tuning in to Friday Night Live pregame show presented by the Varsity Sports Show. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show family. I'm Tommaso Perez from ASU. Join me as I bring you inspiring sports stories and updates from our Catholic schools, where faith, tradition, and athletics come together. Catch me live on KDOS 1060 AM Saturdays from 9 to 11 and during Varsity Sports Show game broadcast.
APAC is your one-stop source for all your automotive and heavy-duty air conditioning parts, supplies, and equipment. They're family-owned and have been the Valley's go-to for all your auto AC needs since 1982. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment, APAC has you covered. Call APAC, AA-PAK, the AC experts at 602-254-1116 and ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road, just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
All right, and welcome back to Friday Night Live pregame show presented by the Varsity Sports Show. Vince DeLisio, Anissa Reynolds, and Ava Lambatis here. Guys, I'm going to ask you again now, after hearing from each of our team members covering the games, picks. Ava.
Oh, man. Okay. So at first I was saying I was really, really excited for that Marcos Deniza game and Arcadia. But Patrick Cohen just got me really fired up about that Desert View, Canyon View game. I can't wait to tune into it. He got me fired up, and I think that it's going to be a good show. I think they're both going to put up a really great fight, and it'll be a great game to watch.
Okay, and from the Chandler graduate here, Anissa, change your mind. Who do you got tonight?
Yeah, I did change my mind. Dane brought up, Centennial versus Mesa, and they're two stellar running backs going against each other. I think that's going to be a great matchup. Both squads have so many advantages, but disadvantages towards each other at the same time. It'll be a tough matchup for them.
I got to tell you, my heart is telling me to go with Horizon on the road against Marana. Horizon has really been the two-headed monster in the backfield with a young running back and a veteran running back, a solid quarterback position. They've been playing solid defense all year. I'm feeling really good about the Horizon Huskies tonight, and really excited about Gila Ridge in Yuma, Arizona's only female head high school football coach in Jessica Slaughter, who played for the program years back and now went back and is the head coach and has them in the quarterfinals hosting Coconino, coached by an old friend of mine, Gary Cook, who I worked for years back at North High School, and looking forward to running into Coach Cook as well. So on behalf of our amazing team, our field correspondents all over the state of Arizona, and our co-hosts tonight, Anissa Reynolds and Ava Lambatis. Guys, Vince DeLisio, have a great night. Looking forward to catching you for our post-game show at 10 p.m. Thanks again for tuning in.
It's Friday Night Live with Vince, pregame, postgame show. Your destination for top high school football previews and wrap-ups with Vince and his team. Buckle up and hang on for Friday Night Live.